somebody, so I was a little late.
So they actually went on the MLS. How about that?
Yeah, well, there's a board there, so I have some lady that's gonna sell it now. So I guess it would have been a good opportunity to just door knock right away instead of waiting. So that was my lesson this week.
There you go. Yeah. So it's not if but when they will eventually go on the MLS, right? And you just need to be there and be supportive and keep on top of those FSBOs until they just bang their head against the wall one too many times, and they go, okay, you're here. You just have to be in the right place, right time. So
Yeah.
do something. So cool. Well, good. That's great. Sounds like you've been doing good activities, learning lots. So proud of you. Way to go. Anybody else have any big wins, ahas?
What the hell?
With this buyer, our second offer that we're gonna be writing together. So kind of excited about that.
Kinda. Hey, that's great.
I'd be more excited if it goes through, but still something that we're working on.
A buyer willing to write and pull the trigger, that's great. That's the first step, and then making sure you get a front offer out of them, right? Not just wasting your time and ink. So, and sometimes people need to write a couple offers before they get confident, realizing.
Well, they are
that,
they are really motivated. Sorry, they are really motivated because they're renting right now. So, yeah, they do have a high motivation to move. So it's just trying to find the right place, the right price for them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm just letting them enter the market the first time around. Some people write an offer and they realize that they came to a gunfight with a banana, right? So you have to educate them on how to. Nobody? No chuckles out of that? Good one. Like, nice fight with a spoon? Anything? You have to like get them into the reality of like what their pricing is for the market they're in, right? So if, you're getting multiple offers and they're writing 20,000 under asking, then right? How do you educate them on how to become a cleaner offer, getting the subjects tidied up, and that type of thing? So it's just all part of it, and that's how you learn and how you educate them as well as yourselves to write stronger, better offers. So good, good work, good job.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I have an interesting situation. One of my buyers is interested in this one condo, so we're going to see it on Monday. And it was originally, here, let me just go to the listing. It was originally listed at 478, and they dropped it to 399. So we booked the showing, and then it got raised back up to 449 after a showing was booked. Yeah.
I love that, eh? So, who do you think's there?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Well, I mean, it sounds like the sellers are letting the realtor go on their bipolar rants, and they're using the MLS. Like it's never a good scenario when your prices are fluctuating like that. Or worse, is they come from 999, they go up to 1.2, and then they come down to 111, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so that realtor take control of the situation. Unfortunately, now you're showing weakness, which is good for you as a buyer's agent. Right? Now you see an opportunity that these guys are. I mean, they're not going to necessarily take $399, but they just don't know how to price the property, and they're not getting good instruction and having a confident agent to be able to hold their ground type thing. So yeah, it's a challenge. So now you got to just do your CMA, and I mean, if you want, we can help you with that right now. We're looking to do CMAs today, and no one sent me anything this week, so we can go over those. Other than that, I mean, you got to figure out what it's worth, what the other comps in the building are selling for, and it doesn't really matter what their pricing it is. It's what the market's willing to accept.
Okay.
If you want, we can do a CMA for you for that one. If no one else has any,
yeah, sure.
Throw it in the chat box there. Anyone else have any big ahas, wins, Anything you need to bring up? Amazing. Quite a week. All right. Everyone
What's the in Surrey? Does anyone know much about Surrey townhouses? Are they selling lots? It seems they're, all over like 41 days or 60 days. Not selling as fast as the condos out there. I'm just wondering if anyone's got experience in Surrey on the townhouse market.
Well, no, right on.
What's your question, Roger?
I got a tour for these guys booked on Monday. So I'm just wondering we're going for condos first. Now we moved up to townhouses. So I'm just wondering, is there a lot of competition in Surrey in terms of selling fast? Because a lot of the ones I looked at are not selling that fast. They're on the market for a little bit as compared to Burnaby or Coquitlam. So I'm just wondering if anyone's got any experience as to, are they taking longer, or is it just these particular ones?
It kind of depends on the area, but the townhouse market isn't as fast moving as the single family right now. I think the condo market's even slower than the townhouse market, so you have more of an opportunity there. But if they can get a townhouse, go for it. But it's hard to lump in all of Surrey.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm talking about South Surrey specifically, or on that King George corridor.
Right. There isn't a ton of townhouse inventory there. You're getting a lot of the newer ones, but are they looking old or?
Well, they want to get as much as possible. Probably looking at about 650 in that range, right? So it kind of limits them a bit, but
it's all going to be compared. Like, you're looking at brand new townhomes, which are, completely different. He's saying it's just Surrey versus like South Surrey and that little pocket of King George corridor. So what you need to do now is look at what's selling in that little pocket. So draw a map around the house, do 2 kilometer radius, look at townhomes that are 5 years or newer, and figure out, like, looking back, we'll give you the example when we do this search here. But, are things selling under ask? Are they selling over ask? What are the average days on market? And that's what you need to explain to your buyers. This is the market we're entering, and you need to be prepared. Things are selling in 2 weeks, so you don't have time to sit around. If you sleep on it, you may not sleep in it, however you want to put it, but making sure that they understand that they don't have a lot of time to waste. Or there's 3 months on market average. We're looking at property that's been on for 2 months. You can definitely negotiate. There's going to be, 2, 3, 5% that we can take off of this price. Oh, the CMAs are flying in. All right. That's funny. So unfortunately, you guys didn't send it to me yesterday, so we could actually have people help you do it. So now we're going to pick a couple, and you got to send it in Thursday so I can send it over to folks, and then we can fill out this spreadsheet. Okay.
Where can I send it in next time? I wasn't paying attention.
Just email me.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Has to be in by Thursday. Is that what you're?
Well, I mean, ideally, yeah. If you guys want to get people doing it ahead of time for us, right? So, I'm just gonna doctor up this spreadsheet again, make it fresh. Okay, first one is 1,000. 2006 2979 Glen. Okay, 1,000. Here you guys go. You can do this on your own while we're doing it. Everybody's fairly new. Shannon, welcome. First time seeing you on the call. Do you have access to Paragon? Are you fully licensed? You can unmute yourself on the bottom if you click.
No, I have my temporary license right now. So not yet.
Okay. So watch, just kind of follow along. We'll
Okay.
we'll get
Sounds
you to.
good.
The reason my chat's not popping up here, but I'm trying to send this spreadsheet in my this chat box, and it's not. Hang on, but Debbie, sorry, it's the computer's being an absolute pain in the ass right now. So 2979. So it's 2979 Glen is the address.
Realistically, we're gonna have to look at other buildings too, because I looked last night at the actual building, and it's kind of hard with what has sold and how long ago it was. But you'll see.
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, I'll share my screen here in half a second. So there's the first one. Actually, yeah, let's start with that. So. Everybody else has access to MLS then?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so you got the spreadsheet. Check your name and your thoughts in there as we play along. Actually, Dylan, you have access? Full access?
To Paragon or the spreadsheet?
Both.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about spreadsheet for you. Do you want to do the CMA and we'll help guide you?
Sure. I can try.
Okay, so I'll let you present yours. Are you able to do that? You feel comfortable doing it?
Might as well try. It's a safe room, right?
This is where we're learning. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Okay.
So, you share, and we'll just walk along. Whoever's punching their keys like a angry, mute yourself, Roger.
Sorry,
All
I
good.
forgot.
I'm just gonna mute you. You can unmute yourself at any time. Just if you're smashing keys, it's distracting.
Let me know if it works. Sharing.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, make it big. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
So if we look at,
talk us through the property. You've not been inside it yet, but
yeah. So the reason it stuck out was because it price dropped pretty heavy. I'll just pull up the actual place that I'm taking my client to look at on Monday. So as you can see, it was originally listed at 478, and then it dropped to 399, and then so we got a showing booked on Monday. My friend's away in Tulameen till Saturday, so and then they raised it to 449. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. So I think 478 was a little steep for that, but
yeah.
Anyways,
so Dylan, how long was it the price down at 399? Do you think it's just a keying error from someone at their office?
No. So this is the history's up. So they did it on the 23rd of November, and then they changed it yesterday.
So it's all your fault, Dylan.
Yeah. But I mean, I think in a way it's good because it's something to negotiate off in a way. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but
no, you've seen 4 prices out of 1 listing. So first thing is anytime you're changing the price, cancel it and relist it.
I thought of that right away when I saw it. I was like, why wouldn't he just relist it? But I'm not him.
Laziness. And I'm not pointing out the brokerage or the realtor, but I'm just saying not everybody plays in the world of being educated enough to know that. So
who is the listing agent, Dylan?
Sorry, what was that?
Who is the listing agent?
He doesn't know him. I don't know him either.
Yeah.
Will Rao, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna rip on him, but it's not doing his sellers justice to have all these price flipping around. Yeah.
Okay, so
If you
if I, oh,
The days on market is important to point out.
if you were to cancel the listing, won't it still show up in the history?
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. But you know what? How many of you knew to look in the history? And how many of you would have bothered looking?
I do just because I've seen you guys do it.
Okay. So this is an educated crowd, we'll say. Not everybody knows to do it. Most realtors are lazy; they don't bother looking. So
Always look at the history first, see what's going on.
well, yeah, that's because we've been chatting enough, Roger. You know better, but a lot of people don't. Will doesn't.
Sorry, I think this guy just saw an opportunity here. They raised it to this price.
Well, it's one piece of paper, right? So to change the price is sending over a listing amendment. To take it off the market is 30 pieces of paper and relisting it, right? So there's a lot more work involved for a solo agent who probably has another job, right? So just saying. Anyhow, keep going. 85 days on the market's the key, so they're hurting.
Yeah.
I have a
So if you
question.
look, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I interrupt for a
Are you
second?
able to ask them?
Wait, Shannon, go ahead. Yeah.
So if you were to post a listing and then cancel it, and then relist it, it would still show the history of what you last listed it, the price at? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. On that history tab though, but it's not everywhere, right? It's not like if you look on here, it says original price 478, then 379. And then look at the one he's got up right now, 818, and then it had 879 or so 799, and then down to 779, right? So it's showing this declaration as they're falling 88 days on market, right? So it's not, this is just shows it's terrible for your negotiation power.
Yeah, because then the buyer's realtor has that information and they can use it to negotiate.
Yeah. So if you look quickly, there's not a whole lot sold and active, and the other actives have more bedrooms. And if we look at the last two that sold here, they're back in like 2014, I believe. Yeah, and they're 2 bedrooms. So I know that these active ones, like this is a 3-bedroom. We're just talking about how it dropped in price twice, but it's kind of hard to compare it fully. And there's no other 1-bedrooms active, unfortunately. So this is our listing that I'm taking my client through.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this one, 37 days on the market, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. Still got the original price, but
so
yeah, so that's the original.
If we really want to compare apples to apples, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Search again. So start with your search, and let's help you get the criteria going before you get ahead of yourself with these.
Okay. So, I mean, do you think it's best just to put Coquitlam, or should I draw kind of around the area?
Well, start with a status, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess I can put active too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't really, at this point, from what I've seen, I've got 5 sold 1-bedrooms in the building in the last 6 months. So those are good comps.
In the same building?
Yeah, in 2979. So
I
you
guess
can keep it pretty. There's on Glen, there's about 5 towers within, throwing a rock from this building. So you don't have to go to like Coquitlam, you don't have to go to the area. You really need to draw a map around this block.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, this is, again, just knowing the market. You have to learn it just by looking at the map, even having to drive around it and stuff, right? So you don't need sub areas. You don't need to tighten it right up to.
So you think I should just capture like this area here?
Yeah. So from Pine, just do Pine Tree, Atlantic, Johnson, Guilford, and that's probably too big, but that's you can then do 1 bedrooms that are, how old is this thing? 08. So like 15 years and newer, and then 5 years. I'll let you do it. I'm talking too much. So.
No, thank you. Thank you. Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, you gotta get your map down to like, you can probably do 60 days, but this has been on for 90 days. So go 90 days back. Just like, it's been 88 days or 85 or whatever. So even 90. So type of dwelling, double check your dwelling there. It's a apartment, condo.
Okay.
Kind of 38. So as you can see, so now you got to do bedrooms, 1 bedroom only, right?
Yeah, true.
One. There you go. That did 42. Now you're starting to carve them down.
Yeah.
So bathroom. It should just be 1 bathroom, but
same thing.
Yeah. So now do your age. So minimum 5 years, because you don't want to do. I mean, this is now out of warranty. Just to point that out, it's 12 years old. Right?
Yeah.
But you can still look at stuff that's a little newer.
Think like max 20 or 15.
Yeah, 15 is probably fine. In that area, you didn't lose much there. Go try 10 and 15. See what that does. 10.
Okay.
Should we
just look at those?
Yeah, you could even go 60 days back and see what happens. 13. You're getting tighter. That's better. Again, this is going to be an overview, which is great. It's going to show, but this doesn't really matter what's selling in the building, because the building is going to have different finishings, different contractor that built it, different amenities, and then there's enough comps in the building and we can get pretty close, but we're going to start here and then we're going to narrow it right down. Okay.
So as you saw at the start, I kind of just searched up here for the building. And like not a lot came up, but you said you found 1 bedrooms that had sold. So I guess I got to do it through this. Just
look at what we've got here.
Okay.
Yeah. So now let's look at the days on market, active listing price, and then sold price. So average days on market.
Okay.
Pretty active. They're knocking 23,000 off of list sale price, right? So that's 484, right? That's what I'm reading.
So what's a good number of comps to start with?
It's a good question. So I think you have to have like 5 or 6 for sure. And it depends, like if they're just perfect comps, if in the building, same side of the building, same floor, like within a couple, then it's quite easy to say you don't need a lot. And if they're actives and solds, like 3 and 3. But if you have, this is a completely different buildings and complexes and views and quality finishings, then you're going to need a few extra. And I'd say no more than 12, probably. Somewhere in there. So we're at 13, which is fine.
Is that the same for like, is that the same number for like single family as well? Like you should have about 12 or 13 to start off and then kind of narrow it down?
Yeah, I'd like to go through like 8 to 10 usually. That's like a good number where you feel like you've got it's like if it's a unique home, you're gonna have to go a little broader. If it's like, you know, condos, it's a big beehive, right? So it's like, what's one honeycomb versus another? They're the same. It's just one's got a different view, one's got a different floor plan, but it's the same square footage, same building, same amenities, same location, really. It's just maybe higher or lower. And that's only the real difference. So,
this is surprising because I know there's one in Atlantic for 2 bedrooms that's a bit cheaper.
Yeah, and obviously these guys are out of the market at 129 days, so not really a good comp even because it's not sold. So
yeah,
tell anything.
So this is our listing.
Good.
Heffley Crescent.
Mm-hmm.
What's the year? 2008. I mean, just to show you guys quick the inside of this so you have an idea of what it looks like. I think it's a little cleaner than the Heffley one, but that could be my opinion. The lighting's worse in the photos on the Heffley one as well.
We'll call it staged only because it's vacant.
Yeah, it's pretty empty.
They could at least thrown a sheet on that mattress.
You get a nice little billiards hangout.
Yeah, so there's some amenities, nice, again, when you can use them. So I'm not going to showcase it much.
Yeah, so, I mean, here we got 499. It's same year built. 39 days on the market. Lighting's not very good in the shots, but it's quite similar.
You gotta love the portrait
square
though.
605. So they're fairly close in square feet. This one's a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think this is good to keep, at least in reference. It is another building, and it's active still.
Perfect.
So here's Atlantic again. 458 was the original. It's gone down. It went up. Or no, sorry, it went down twice. It's pretty close in the year built. It's 1 year newer. And it's a little bit smaller. But again, I put the criteria as actives first. So it's 100 days on the market. They've dropped twice. It's a little desperate.
So you get a higher floor, slightly newer, very comparable finishings.
Yeah.
Why aren't you showing this one as well?
I probably should. Actually, I actually emailed or touch based for one in Atlantic, and she hasn't got back to me. So I don't think it's this one. It was, yeah, I think it was a different one. But
I would add that to your tour because it looks like now, let's say they like this one better, you can negotiate against, right? So if you only have the one, if you're not able to walk away and go pick up something else, then you guys have lost your negotiation power too, right? So,
yeah, I should ask him after this if he wants to go see this on Monday too.
Yep. If nothing else, get an idea of what else his money could go towards, right? Like here's what 438 buys you, plus we'll probably take off 10 grand or something. So
yeah. Yeah, I was doing 2-bedroom searches for him the whole time, and then he found that 1-bedroom because he's like, I'd be okay with 1-bedroom now. So I'm like, okay, well now I gotta start looking at 1-bedrooms. But
yeah,
so this is still at the original price. It's definitely way more. It's a little more square feet. It's pretty nice.
looks pretty comparable for an extra 80 grand or whatever they're at.
Yeah. But it is active still.
Yeah.
So we can keep that in mind at least. So 479. It's a little more square feet. least the photos look clean. It's not cluttered or anything.
Yeah. So why not show this one too?
I think it's a little over his price range for a 1-bedroom because, I mean, we've been finding 2 bedrooms around there. So the reason that he was so intrigued was because it was at $399 to see the 1-bedroom. So it's a little debatable. I mean, I can show him, but I don't think he'll, because 500's his max. So
yeah, I'm just saying, if you knock 20 grand off, is this worthy of looking at?
yeah,
Okay, so
true enough.
with 46 days on market, you think you can negotiate?
Yeah, and have, kind of do like David's situation. We got this one I'm showing him on Monday, and if this doesn't go through, we're gonna go offer on this one. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, so this is another active. Is this the same?
Right.
Yeah.
4 days on. Yeah. So
Chris, I have a question. Is it better to like show them, like in Dylan's case here, is it better to show them like 3 on the Monday, or is it better to show him the 1 and then keep the 2 in your pocket in case that one doesn't?
how many times do you want to leave your house? Like, get them all done at once. Like, you don't want to show them 15 homes at once, but 5 or 6 homes in one tour is usually a good amount. And then they'll start blending into each other, and they can't remember which one had what features. Or you have to do a really good job of taking notes and reminding them and taking videos and stuff to get them back into the mindset of what you like. Yeah, absolutely. Go out them all at once, and then they're fresh and it's to the point. So yeah, don't make multiple tours. Like, you're building the superhighway here with your business, right? You don't want to like take one client out 5 times for your week and that's your week. 5 clients out 5 times, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm showing a different client a place in Mission on Sunday, but then I'm trying to show my parents 3 places after that place on Sunday on my way home to try and make that work.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's what you want to do. That's the key, is just managing your schedule and setting it up to not waste time, using purposeful, you tighten up tours and adjust things here and there, but you'll make it work. Okay, what do we got here? The High Street.
We're starting with solds now. You can see 435 it sold, pretty recent here. It's got a little bit less square feet, but not much. Oh, we got a KW here.
I remember that coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, I know her. She's the mom of my sister's friend. But yeah, it's 1 year newer. It's pretty similar looking, but this is good to keep in mind. It's pretty recent. It is a different building, but yeah, I think you get the point. So this is Glen Drive, sales price $495. It's back in, oh yeah, so it's still close enough.
Yes. Like 29 days ago. It's as tight as it gets.
Yeah, my mind was mixing it up as the month, because I know 5 May because my birthday. I was like, wait, I thought I put 60 days back.
Yeah, this is a good comp. This is in the building. This is one of the ones I had in mind. So
okay, yeah, I mean 495. I already know he's not going to want to pay that for a 1-bedroom, but it's good to show him at least. I mean, you think with that plate, the one that we're looking at, they dropped it to $399. It's almost like they're trying to get a bidding war type thing. I don't know if that's what,
the realtor.
Yeah.
Did they get offers?
I don't think so.
Sad. So that's the worst case scenario, is that you drop it to a burner price and then nothing happens and then you look foolish.
Exactly. It's a risk.
It's a terrible strategy. It's not the market for that. You got 40 days on market here average. Like, you're not in a 15, 20 day on market average where you can get away with that. So Don't be foolish.
So this one started at 490, dropped to 465. They got 458.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a little bit smaller, similar year.
Okay.
So I have another question. So, like with the same example, how they drop the price. So, is it a good idea to like maybe give the other realtor a call and ask him about the price being dropped, or if there's any offers or anything like that before you book the showing, or is it better to keep those questions to once you get to the showing if they're going to be there?
So let's just say you call me and I say, oh, well, you know, we had it at 399 and my seller wants over 500,000. It's not taking a penny less. Is it not worth having a conversation, or do you want to drive over there and waste your time with someone who's not motivated to sell their home? Right? It's always a good idea to talk to that agent, and every story, every sale, every property, every seller has a different story. Right? There's always a reason behind why it's sold. Maybe they kicked back some commission. Maybe there was a flooring or a furniture allowance, or maybe like there's just so many things that you don't actually get the true price without talking to the realtor. So you got to do that extra step of calling them, asking questions, and like do your due diligence to really understand why the property sold at that price and what happened. And yeah, we went back and forth. We had multiple offers and ended up, you know, taking 20 grand off because inspection or whatever, right? There's a crack in the foundation. So you don't learn these things without calling and talking and you build rapport with the realtors that you're working with, right? So they respect the fact that you're doing your research. So and they love to brag their sale. Hey, I want to talk about solds. I don't want to talk about actions I can't get rid of, but they still want to talk to you about it because they're trying to promote the property, right? So, yeah. So Dylan did talk to.
Okay, so it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good idea to even call your call then.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, everything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting to the end of our things here, but this one's in Atlantic. It's pretty close. It's a little bit smaller. Sold at 430, so gives a little more hope in a way.
Right. Yeah. Good.
Oh.
It's across the street. Penthouse, though, right? Is it a penthouse? 7th floor. Double check. Go down. Grand Central, it has 2 towers there. So scroll down. 27th floor is not really comparable. It's not a penthouse, but it's up at the top. Like, with the best view, right? Like, what's the view worth? I'll give you 20, 30, 50 for some people, right? So 50 probably high in this price point, but think about that, right? That view of across the Lower Mainland versus you're on the 10th floor, you're looking at another building, you're looking at whatever, someone's dirty laundry across the way versus sunsets and glory. Your choice. How much you're willing to pay for that. So
yeah,
keep that in mind. Yeah. So it's not really a good comp because of the view. Like you can see they're just looking north across the lots of space to feel open.
Does it say somewhere how many floors the building has on here?
Yes. Not like doesn't show the actual floors, but you can look it up by looking at the history of the building, and you'll just see like look at all the sales, and there'll be like a top floor you can pick it out. You can just organize it and figure it that way too.
Okay. So this would be the 22nd floor then, correct?
Yeah. So you're pushing it again, and in the essence of time, I would say that this isn't really a good comp either with the height.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is highlight the ones that were marked that you think are good comps. You have them?
Yeah, I have. I'm just putting ours on there too, so I have it. Or should I take ours off?
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, it's active. So now hit check, and now go back to your home screen. or the MLS default, I should say, not home. Sorry.
Why did it just glitch out there?
Yeah.
Usually I was just hitting back and it would go back up.
That red back is how you get there. That's right. I'm just not sure what's going on.
Come on.
Go to reports, the green button there. Now go to spreadsheets. Just go MLS defined spreadsheet 6. I don't know, 6 or 7, whichever. There you go. That'll do. So now your averages are 473 and 554. So they dropped a little bit. Your average days on market dropped a little bit. So those are some comps. I think that doesn't help you much, to be fair, but it is accurate, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty close to 450. I think is kind of like what your range is. And then I'll tell you how you can double check it now. So go to your home.
Like this home?
Yes, yeah, that one. Either of those, that one at the top there. So now active solds. Now put in the address 2979. Single. And then street name, Glen. Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't need drive. That's just Glen.
Oh. I mean, it
Okay,
says 0. But...
Okay, go down. Do you have any more?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
Go to the icon on the top there, the settings icon. Just past load, save quick search. Settings, gear, just to the right there.
Is it that? Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're just gonna add date. So search date. Hit enter.
Okay. Are we looking for just sold or search?
That's search date.
Okay.
Yeah, add it. Okay. Apply it and save as. There you go. Good. Okay, now. Okay. So now click on that search date. Oh, yeah. You have to do it all over again. Sorry. You reset this.
Oh, I did too. Okay.
Now it's set for the rest of your life. So.
Okay.
Plan. So 2979. And it hits single. You got multiple there. You see that 2979 says multiple next to it. You have to go to single, otherwise, or you can do it again there. But the drop down will also do it. But that's fine, right?
Yeah, okay.
Now get your date. Go 90 days back. Actually, okay, good, perfect. Check it out. So you're just looking in the building.
So Chris, why are we changing it from multiple to single?
Because he's only looking in 2979 to land now. This is just a quick way to search the building.
So if we did multiple, show up more than one building?
You can go in between different addresses.
Yeah, you can go, 2978 and 2979, then you do both buildings across the street from each other if you wanted. But we want to look specifically in the building and check it out. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 one-bedrooms that have sold in the last 90 days in the building.
So I mean, let's
four
just
sold.
Thank you.
Let's just grab these quick.
Check those. Now look at your averages. So the one thing now is I don't really care about the other ones. I like the 906 because it's the same floor plan. It's the same square footage exactly. It's the same size, right? Makes sense? So I'm gonna have a look at that one.
Okay.
This is a true comp.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So it was back in September, but it's still a very good comp because it's the same size, same square. It's one floor below, right? Same layout, same finishings, well staged, right? Showed like beautifully. Sheila is a great realtor. She did a good job. So that is your comp. That sets your market right there. Is that one floor below in September sold for 445. So that's why now you know they're actually priced right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it didn't show quite as well, right? Like yours doesn't. It's like not staged, so there's probably an opportunity there that they're vacant and desperate and been on for 85 days. So there's room to negotiate just because now the story, the situation allows you to beat them up a bit on price potentially. And they're doing this weird high, low, middle pricing strategy that screwed themselves over. So had they priced at 449, they probably would have sold by now, you know?
Yeah.
So there's your opportunity. So it's probably within 440 to 450 is your price for this property. And
Okay.
every floor up, I think, goes up. I say rule of thumb about 1%, right? So that makes it $4,000 higher just because you're one floor higher.
Yeah.
So it's 449. So you're still in that mark.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be too happy with that, but I'll talk to him about it.
You know, now you send this over and you explain it to him that, like, if you think you're getting $399, keep looking, right? Like, don't make me look like an idiot by trying to negotiate $50,000 off of this price. You know, saying that, but I don't want to waste your time, my time. Let's make sure that, you know, the reality is this is what the price is actually. This is what it's worth, and here's why.
Okay.
One floor over 445. Do you think we're going to get it at 400?
Yeah.
And then just shut up and let them go. Okay, I get it. Right? Or let's keep shopping. Or
Okay.
here's coolers in the area, but this is what the prices are for one bedrooms in the area. So you know we're in that range. Okay.
Okay. Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Good job, man. Okay.
So,
Wrap it up. What do you think? How are you gonna explain this to your client?
well, thankfully, he's been my friend since we're little, so I can be pretty frank with him. And yeah, I'll show him straight up that I think he knows, because you know we're looking even at, like, it listed at 399. I told him, like, that's super low, and he knows that we saw a 2-bedroom that he was super interested in. It was 499, super low again, like kind of similar thing, looking for that bidding war. So I'll send him this one and I'll explain to him. I'll see if he still wants to go see it, even though it's a little more than he might expect for what it's worth.
Okay. David, you want to rip through yours in a fashionably efficient way? How you feeling?
Unless Thomas wants to go first, because mine might be a bit of a long shot.
You got
Thomas, you there?
Sorry.
Go for it, David.
Okay.
So I also want to point out we do have Ron jumping on here at 11 o'clock. We've gone fairly long on this one, but Ron wants to do the 135 you guys didn't get to do with him on last Friday, just to help you guys set your goals. So Dave and Thomas, we can do this as well individually if people want to do that 135, because I think it's a very important time of year for you guys to set your goals. This is when you guys need to know what next year is going to look like and how you're going to get there. Right?
Yes, sorry if I took up too much time.
No problem, man. This is you learning, and you know, hopefully, I mean, this is an opportunity for you to do that. David's done it before. He's had a few already that he's done, and Thomas as well. So
yeah,
good job, man. Like,
it's not letting me share my screen. Some privacy thing I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
It's nice
So yeah,
to
we'll
do that.
pardon me.
I said it was nice with Dylan doing that because I haven't done any comps for condos or apartments yet. So it was nice to get all that little details that we should look into. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think condos are it's such a different animal, right? Comparing now, we're looking at a detached home in a subdivision, right? And so like every house is different, every situation is different. So you just don't know until you get in the house what they've done too, right? So this is 2007. They may have completely gutted it. They may have beat the crap out of it. You just don't know until you figure out what's happening with it. So yeah, it's good to look at all sides and perspectives too. It's a big piece of land too, dude. So you're not able to share. Do you want me to?
If you want to bring it up quick, because I'm fighting with Safari and Chrome right now, because I also got 2 monitors, so I
got it. Okay, why don't I share and you guys can help me do the CMA together. Just talk me through it as if you're doing it.
So I'll give you guys a quick backstory. This is a for sale by owner, block over in Maple Ridge. The family's been in Maple Ridge about as long as we have, for about 10 plus years. The family of 4, the early 20-something daughter, the family's been fighting cancer with her for forever, since she was a young kid. So they're well known in the community. People have dropped off gifts and helped out over the years with them. They're very well known. The house has been for sale by owner since back in the spring, when the wife and the kid and I were doing door hangers. We went through their road. We think we did 1,000 that weekend, or in a week. And based on their challenging circumstances for the daughter's health, I didn't want to hound them. And then after last week, I decided, you know what? I'm going to do it, but I'll do it in my way. So I wrote out a 2-page letter, got it printed off nice and proper at Staples, put it in an envelope, bottle of red wine, gift bag, and I left it at the door. And then I followed up with them through Facebook Messenger that night saying, hey, I don't know if leaving a bottle of wine outside was a good idea with the temperatures dropping down to 0. I just want to make sure that you got it. The next morning, the wife replied back with a giant message of their concerns, the daughter's health. It's 3 stories, lots and lots of stairs, and the daughter's in and out of wheelchairs right now. So they're struggling if they should sell, if they need to sell, want to sell, and making the change. So it's quite emotional for them.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that being said, you're walking into a bit of a storm, knowing it, eyes open, that you're going to have meltdowns, breakdowns, family counseling. There will be, just a very emotional ride. It's very different. Yeah. So, I mean, good for you for stepping in, and not everybody wants to take that on. And it's just admirable that, you want to help. And I would actually bring that up. You can see the stairs here. So everyone sees my screen? Yeah. Yep. Good. Yeah. So there's not a lot of info on Paragon. So I just want to make sure we kind of get a lay of the land of what the house looks like. It's got a big lot, nice big backyard, it looks like.
It's the second biggest lot in that section of homes that was built by Portrait Homes about, I think they were 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So quick rundown, her message, I'll read it. Inside, we have redone the entire kitchen and installed a 10-foot island, all new quartz counters, new floors throughout. Basement has redone, all bedrooms and master bath, new fireplaces built in both living rooms and basement. We put in hundreds of thousands of dollars into renovations. Plus, we have the second biggest lot in the development, extremely private, landscaped. And somewhere in there, they've got opened up the back wall of our house to an outdoor living area, including a hot tub, large flagstone patio, stone bar, built-in barbecue fridge. And somewhere in the message, there was an indoor rock wall that they've made, I guess, years ago when the son was younger, and that was his thing.
So there you go. You've got way too much renovations done for the neighborhood, it sounds like. They've overspent. So my computer's gonna look good here. Or we'll call it Google Earth. But let's try and get an idea of what the layout looks like. Maybe on Paragon it's different. I just want to get a look at the backyard and see how I know it's going to be sloped and there's going to be some challenges in it, but it is a really big piece of property at 9,200 square feet. So I wonder how much of that is into this bush, but that's still.
Yeah, because the elevation from where the one flag is to the row of homes, that's actually our street on the right of the screen. The elevation is probably
right here,
at least 50 to maybe 75 feet, depending on Foreman, how it changes.
Yeah. Yeah, I showed this house.
That
Is
was
one for
Huber
sale?
sold
Where are we?
earlier in the year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's a big drop off. Nice backyards, but they're private, and they're private. I should say. Not. I wouldn't say they're nice and big, but they're. It's
Yeah.
tranquil. Okay. Where are we? So residential detached. You know, it's a big lot. I don't think you're gonna really get all the value out of that lot because it's got short frontage. It's not real wide, so you're gonna miss out on some opportunities there. I'd imagine it's now a larger home. They've got extra bedrooms. They've finished the basement.
Yeah, the full fair square footage is now, I think, the 3162 because everything's finished, but it didn't sound like they had put in a suite. She didn't mention it, so I'm assuming they don't have a suite.
Just want to always double check here. eValue BC. See what they've got it at. All you guys are slowing my computer down, I guess. But
David, are they planning on selling this and then buying like a more wheelchair accessible home?
The other part of her message was they've been, or I guess she has been looking online in Langley area for a rancher, but of course everything they're looking at is the prices that they are, and then knowing that they would want to do a full gut job to bring that home into their taste, their style, what they're used to, I guess. And she did include in her message at some point over the last 8-10 months, however long it's been for sale by owner, that they had one realtor in that said they could probably get 1.299.
well, that realtor bought the listing. That's very nice of them, but they don't own it. So
yeah,
yeah, you can see your square footage from the house and the home is way out on. You're at like 33.95, 34.10 for square footage. There, is that right? Is my math right? That's way off. So anyway, someone's off. Anyway, that's why you get it professionally measured. But it's 3,000 square feet plus finished, and they only still have 3 bedrooms. I feel I don't believe that, but we'll move forward.
I'd like to think there's more bedrooms with the basement being finished and not just a giant rec room or playroom.
They've got it at an extra bedroom, but she would have told you that if that's the case. But we'll keep it at 3 just for the search. It's most things we'll get up to 5 or 6 bedrooms in the area. So okay, so I'm gonna skip ahead a bit. We're all in Silver Valley. I'm gonna go back 90 days just to move this along quickly. So like I said, bedrooms 3 minimum, square footage. So it doesn't have a suite, which a lot of these homes you're comparing to will have suites, but they've made it their own family space, I guess, which is, admirable, I guess. So say 27 square feet, still at 66, age is 07, so it's 13 years old. So minimum 5 years, maximum say 20. And I guess this is 27. So lot size has got to be 6,000 square feet, I think, even though 9,000, that's already down to 13. So I don't think you actually need to do a lot more and carve off here and there. Maybe 60 days back. Let's see what happens. So 9. That's really accurate. Well, I mean, obviously, if they get some monster homes on top of it, it's like larger, then it may skew things a bit, but everybody saw what I did there, and that was just kind of a quick one. I'm sorry, David. It's not as, but that's how quickly you can do a CMA, by the way, right? And that's accurate. Like I firmly believe it's going to give us pretty good results, and we may have to go back and tweak here and there, but so 1299. Someone told them that.
Yeah.
Almost within reason, but still high, I think. So, I mean, someone's asking, they're getting in the 1.2s, right? Almost everything.
But look at the bedrooms.
Yeah, and look at the square footage, right? So you're the smallest house on the block. This is probably one of the better size comps, these two. So you're obviously pricing quite a bit different there. And then you get up into that next range. And then BC assessment, you're only like a couple hundred square feet off here. And then now you're in the 1.2s. So something to consider. Age 2015 though. Here's your 2007. So this is probably a decent comp here. We'll have a look at it on 240th, which is a busier street. Well,
It's quite a ways away, whereas some of the Rock Ridge and, well, Gilbert R Street, they were more in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, so Gilbert's definitely like around the corner. 4 days on market. So yeah, that's a pretty good comp. It's a little newer, but 4 bedrooms, which is probably accurate, I guess, for what you guys are dealing with, or at least comparable.
The only thing with that one that you're highlighted, they just put in a full legal suite, and they included that in the description, and that sold super fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not getting a rock climbing wall money back. You're not getting like that backyard barbecue patio deck. You'll get some of it, but you're not getting 100% ROI back on that money. So, yeah. I mean, glad you guys got to enjoy it, but yeah, there's your legal suite. So interesting to call it legal, because I'd be surprised if it's truly legal with what Maple Ridge needs, fire sprinklers and all that extra stuff. But yeah, maybe they dropped the bills on it. Who knows? I mean, they definitely sold for a pretty penny. So it's only 6,000 square foot lot. I think that legal suite's probably worth about 50K.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit newer. So bedrooms, we'll see. Just kind of rip through these photos real quick. John's got a good photographer. These are nice for sure. Clean. Oh, what? Yeah, I showed this house. Okay, I was in here. Like deja vu. Yeah, this is nice. This is good. The suite was good, but it didn't have like upstairs. Good, clean kitchen. Beautiful view off the back deck. That view is worth some coin for sure. You can see out of the master bedroom. That view is really nice. Sunsets. So, yeah. It's basically, but it's like above ground, so it's pretty nice. Like it flows well. It's big. It's kind of wonky layout. You go back up here to the upstairs, but it's not. This wasn't a legal suite. This is the one? This is totally not legal. Because over here is like where your heating system is and all this. Anyway, we didn't buy it. So, yeah, backyard's cute and tight, but nice little views here. So anyway, yeah, that's what you're paying for. There's your 50K right there, that view. And then that legal suite's not, it's not a legal suite. It's not 50K. It's probably 30K though. I'll give you that.
They did put in a separate entrance, so I think that's where they were.
The separate entrance is a sliding door downstairs, right? Like that's not legal. Like he knows better. That's your separate entrance right there.
Mm.
I'm just not going to show it, but just so you guys know, legal suite needs like there's a stipulation, a list of things that you need to do. So I can just make sure I'm in the right world. Yeah, sliding door. That's not a legal entrance for a suite. You need sprinklers, which I have, but you need a separate heating system. You need fireproof drywall. You need fire caulking. There's a lot of stuff you need for a legal suite. Anyway, Ron's just seeing if we're doing this. Okay. Are you on the call, Ron? Is he on the call? I don't know. Hang on a sec. So, jump on. Amin, you there? You send Ron the link? Or not? So that being said, I think you're kind of like in 115 range, just right off like gut check.
Okay.
I'd say you're definitely above 237A here, without even having to look at it, just because like yeah, it's just not the same quality of house. So I'm sure accepted offer. Look at that. They did well, but sent a link yesterday. Oh, I thought you were going to take over my call. ... Okay, so Ron has Ron has a separate link. for the 135. So, David, I would do this, and I would probably go back 90 days now and just double check that something didn't slip through.
Okay.
And from there, I would go. Yeah, might tighten up the square footage here. I think that's about it. And I think you're within one. They spend so much money on renovations. Like, you got to get in the house and really see it, I think. So you could push up to the 1-2 because of the updates, because people may, like, one family may love that rock wall, and like, you're getting kids that are growing and climbing and stuff. That's awesome. Like, there's value there, but you're not going to get all the money out of it.
Yeah.
Versus someone with the suite, you'll get.
Hi, Chris, I have a question. This is Manpreet.
Hi.
Hi, I have a question that if the renovations are not legally done and the BC assessment is probably a lot off, right? I mean, you can't really look at the BC assessment value because they have put so much on renovation and they are not legally done. Then how do you set up the price? I mean, how do you decide about the price? The cost.
Sorry. Say it again. I'm trying to get Ron on this call here. You're looking to,
like, if
the renovation.
So if renovations are not legally done, right? Then it won't show off on the BC assessment is probably, like in this case, it's a couple thousand square feet off, right? About 1,000. Then how do you find the comparables?
Well, you have to. That's why you go broad. You don't just narrow down to like 100 square feet. So you keep it within range, and you'll capture both of them. And then you have to make an educated decision as to. Sorry, I'm not sure what's going on here. But are you there, dude? I'm just like struggling by myself. I'm gonna stop sharing this. So maybe let's be on my computer.
I don't think Amin's on the call.
Yeah, I feel that as well. So your question is, how do I compare renovation?
So you can't really rely on BC assessment, right?
No, never. It's just a guideline, right?
Okay, bottom line, you're still going by market value, saying, but it has to be disclosed that was done, end up being penalized in the future. So that's a risk that they take. And also insurance and stuff. So that it's still going by, I never really go to BC assessment. I always look at market value and comparisons. And if the buyer is willing to take, knowing that it's done without permits, unfortunately, a lot of places are, it is a risk that they potentially could be fined in the future for it, or maybe not. We don't know that for sure, but as long as they're aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you put so much on the renovation, like Chris said, that they won't get the value, the true value out. Like if you spend like 100, 150 or on the renovation, you can't expect to get it back when you sell it, right?
You know what? It really depends where it is, what they've done and stuff like that. So if they've taken an old place and totally gutted it, they probably will, right? So if they take an old rancher and they start gutting it and totally do everything, potentially they will sometimes get the almost dollar for dollar, depending where it is, how much they've done, the quality of the work they've done. There's just a lot of stuff like that that you have to look at.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's not an exact science, we'll say. You need to look at more properties in order to decipher exactly which ones are which. And what the values of, someone doing a homeowner renovation versus a professional contractor, just because they didn't pull permits doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a quality build too, right? And so lot of subtleties that you learn it through time. Just being like, that's why we do so many CMAs. That's right. Like you should be doing every day doing a CMA. Welcome, Ron. Sorry, but I couldn't get the freaking thing to send. Yeah, so Ron's here to join us to help with your goal setting for 2021. So your 135s, and I'll leave it in capable hands. I think Carlos here to guide you along as well. So welcome, Ron.
Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all doing? Y'all look motivated? Roger, what color is that wall? Holy cow, buddy. That's impressive. I like it. Dang. That's like, I like the color. I'm going for it.
That was my daughter's room. So she's moved out. So this is.
I'd be disappointed if that was a Zoom background.
The next time you see it, it'll be white. But it's just a shock and awe.
Shock and awe. Fantastic. Well, it shocked and awed me and got me talking about it. So cool. All right. So GPS. So I sent out a link with the form to where I thought we were doing the meeting. So you obviously don't have that. If Chris or Raman could send that out, that'd be awesome. So does anybody have a goal done for 2021 yet? This is going to be an interactive deal. Take your phones off mute. So I do the same things I do for a live class. I start off, I take my watches off. I take, if I'm wearing a suit, the jacket comes off, the sleeves get rolled up. It's just kind of the way it works. So, so GPS your 135 is a Keller Williams tool system designed to help you plan out your year. And the reason why I'll ask you, does anybody know why it's called a GPS? Now that you're all muted. Okay. So GPS, because if you get in your car and you're going somewhere that you've never been before and you don't have any directions, you're probably just going to drive around in circles. And if you're a guy like me, you're not going to stop and ask for directions because we're not allowed to. It's in the book. It's in the code book. So GPS is designed to systematically get you to where your goal is going. So everybody grab, because you don't have the GPS, which by the way, looks like this, and we'll make sure you all get it. Exciting, right? So GPS.
It's on its way. Work on it.
Cool. All right. So because you don't have it, grab one of these, otherwise known as a blank piece of paper. Shannon, you're allowed to smile. There you go. And then you put a book up in front of your face when you smiled. It's like wearing a mask. I miss the bottoms of people's faces now. Just me. All right. So number one, 2021. Assuming that it's going to be an amazing year. And by the way, all indications are we're going to go into a bit of a shift again. So a shift in the market means that there's a fluctuation in the inventory side. And we tend to do very, 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 we being Keller Williams agents, do very well in a shift because we focus on lead generation, because we focus on scripting in the language of real estate, and always getting better at the tools that are going to help you drive revenue. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense.
Just check to see that content works.
David, that was a pencil, not a thumb. Just clarifying. Just giving you a
sent
Hi,
the link.
All right, cool. So
access denied.
So number one, you have to know what your revenue or unit goal is. So we're gonna do some math. Everybody breathe. Access denied, Thomas says. So we're gonna do some math. So you have to know what your goal is for the year. So can I have a guinea pig? Who wants to play?
Yeah, I'll be the guinea pig.
Dylan, good job. Lacrosse players always step up. All right. So what's your revenue goal for 2021?
120,000 after paying the cap.
120,000. So we're going to call that 120,000 net.
Yeah.
Right. So 120 in your pocket. Cool. All right. So step one, figuring out where your revenue goal is. So that's net. We also know. So do you know what your tax rate is going to be or your cost of sales? No, you don't, because you're brand new in real estate. So we're going to put that at about 30%. Hold on, I need a calculator. For those of you who do everything on your phone, this is called a calculator. Oh wait, you passed the real estate exam. Y'all have one. Have you sold it on Craigslist yet? All right. All right. So 120,000 divided by your tax or divided by a 30% tax rate or overhead of sales. So we're going to include everything in that 30%. So your cap, your cost of doing sales, it doesn't include your marketing, but we're going to give you a buffer on that. So it works out to $133,333. So we're just going to round up to 135,000. So your gross commission goal, did I lose anybody? Put up your hand if I lose you. So your gross commission goal is $135,000. So now we know. Do you know what your average commission is?
Well, I think we were kind of going over this, but let's call it, I think, $8,000.
Good number. Divided by $8,000. So an average commission of $8,000 means you need to do 16.875 transactions. You can't sell a whole house for the last one. We're going to round that up to 17 deals. Now, are you focusing on the buy side or the sell side?
Well, fortunately, I have a lot of people in my sphere who are first-time buyers, but obviously listing's better because you can get potential buyers out of that, market yourself and such.
Okay, so let's call it 50-50, right? So let's say half of your business is going to come from the buy side and half of the side is going to come from the list side. The list side. Wrong course. I was on a 7-hour mastermind with Gary Keller yesterday. You think eventually he would run out of intelligent things to say? Didn't happen yesterday. Man, this man is amazing. Him and Josh team. So out of 50-50 split, 17 deals. Somebody do the math on that. What is that? I'll do it. So 8.5. So we're going to call it 9 on the list side and 8 on the buy side. Okay. So do you know why we focus on the list side at Keller Williams? Chris, you're allowed to answer too. Or anybody else.
Because you always make money.
You always make money. When you control the listing, you control everything else. So when you're actually out there door knocking or canvassing to find buyers, you're actually looking for somebody to list, right? You've got more time to market. You've got control of the sale. Your commission's higher. It spends less time because buyers are awesome and they like to pick out, fuchsia walls and things like that. So, you on the list side, you have more control of the transaction, and everything stems from the listing. So Gary Keller is a big fan of focusing on the listing. Our goal for your business is to get to a 50-50. So you've got 50% of your coming from the list side and 50% coming from the buy side. All right. So now we know the number, and all we've done is come up with the number. So now you have an understanding of where you want to go. So your goal is to get to 9 listings, and we're going to forget about the 8 buy side. We're going to focus on the 9 listings. All right. So to get those 9 listings, what do you think our average close ratio is in the office right now? So that means when you get a contract, how often does it close?
I know it's worse for new agents. With practice, it'll get better.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with you getting the listing, and good job on the practice thing. This just has to do when you write a contract, how often does it close? So how often will it not go sideways? Will financing not go through? Will a global pandemic hit? Hypothetically speaking. So it's about 80% on the safe side, right? So 9 deals divided by 80%. So you need to do, and we're always rounding up. Even though in real estate you can do half a deal, we're always going to round up. So Dylan needs 12 listings in 2021 to hit this goal, because everything else will come from the buy sides will come, right? So you have to do the math on this one. So if there's 12 months in the year and you have to do 12 listings, how many listings do you have to take per month?
1.
Yay!
2.
See? So is anybody freaking out at like $135,000 of gross commission? Anybody? Hands up if you want to. No one's freaked out at 100. Okay, let's double it then. All right. You start about 9 listings when you don't have any. It's kind of, it can be a little intimidating. And then you break it into bite-sized chunks and say 1 listing. Okay, cool. Now let's go back to your part about scripting and learning the craft. So if you need to get 12 listings for the year, how many listing appointments do you need to go on? Let's say 50%, right? So let's say half the conversations you have, because you have really good coaches who are going to help you with this. You're welcome, Chris. How many? So let's say you've got to go on 24 listing appointments to get your 12 listings for the year, right? Okay. So that means you have to go on how many listing appointments per month?
2.
You can take 2 weeks off. Just work 2 weeks. Just work 2 weeks out of actually, you're just working 2 days. That's all you're really doing. So 24 for the year. All right. So out of those 24, if 80% are closing, that's where you get to your number. So what do you need to focus on? Do you need to focus on the $135,000 or the activity that's going to drive that $135,000?
The activity.
The activity that drives the revenue. Good answer. Now, I'm pulling stuff straight out of the Gary Keller mastermind from yesterday, so you guys get fresh information. So we talk a lot about goal setting, and honestly, your GPS is just a roadmap to get you there. So what you're going to do with your GPS, and your coaches will help you with this. If you want my input, my cell number is 778-240-5525, or just look on any bathroom in any ABC restaurant. So you're going to go through what your goal is for your revenue, for your net income, and your closed number of units, right? So divide by your average commission. 8,000 is reasonable, and then the priorities. So it's GPS, goals, priorities, and strategies. So your priority, what's your lead generation lever? How are you going to get to the people? And one of the questions that came up yesterday was, if we pulled your database right now, how many people in your database that you know what you do and are interested in hearing from you? As a rule of thumb, about 6 to 7% will buy, sell, or do both each year. So I used to work with a lot of people in the seminar business and joint venture capitalists and those guys. And it was always fun when I talked to somebody and they'd say, I'd say, how many people in your database? Or I'm going to send you my database list. Like, how many people in your database? And they'd go, 30,000 people. That's awesome. How many of them know your name? 10, right? So if you're a person who's doing lead generation online, the only people you really care about are the ones who might pick up the phone or wish you a happy. You want to do a gauge on your Facebook database? On your birthday, see how many people actually send you a happy birthday message. And when you get those notifications, how many people in your Facebook database do you not recognize when it's their birthday? That's how I clean out my Facebook database. If you're not a real estate agent or my mom, she's not on Facebook, then you're out. So so what percent of your business is actually going to respond to you? Because those are the ones who you can campaign towards, and that's where your business is going to come from, right? So as we work these numbers back, your goal, instead of focusing on those listings, what if your goal each day is to focus on how many contacts you're going to add to your database, right? And then you got to figure out how committed you are to your goal. My favorite gauge on being committed to a goal or not being committed to a goal is whether I allow myself to go to bed at night. So if my goal is to put 10 people in my database, brand new people that I've never talked to, and by putting them in, I mean I'm connected with them, I have two-way conversation. So if I reach out to them on Facebook and they connect, I send them a private message and go, hey, thanks for the connection. How's it going? If I don't hear back from them, they don't count. So we have to have a two-way communication. If I'm texting you and you text back, we're good. If I pick you up the phone and you actually have a conversation, it doesn't mean you're phoning 10 people, getting 10 voicemails and saying, hey, this is Dylan calling from Keller Williams Elite Realty. Just calling to see if you want to sell your house. That's not a contact. That's solicitation. Follow the do not call list. So yeah, that's, if you're committed to your goal, and then you should look something like you go to get into bed at whatever time you go to get into bed, you fluff up the pillow, you go to put your head down and go, oh crap, I haven't made any contacts today. And you get back up, grab the phone, grab your computer, go back to Facebook, because calling people at 11 o'clock at night makes them grumpy, by the way. Don't do that. Speaking from experience. Unless you're dealing with different time zones. Call people in Hawaii. They're still up. So, but you're going to find a way to creatively get your database up and running so you're committed to your goal. You put 10 people I'll give you 1 day off a week, but you put 10 people in your database each week. How many people are you going to have in there at the end of the year?
A lot.
There you go. More than I have now, right? So if you focus on that and then you start building out smart plans in command and campaigns and actually reaching out with these people on a follow-up plan, you're going to be doing more than most real estate agents in the Lower Mainland right now. If you've been on the office meeting updates, you'll hear these stats from me, but I'll pull the stat for all the agents in the Lower Mainland. And right now, depending on who you ask, there's about 15,000 real estate agents in the Lower Mainland. So those are 15,000 people with active real estate licenses, right? Out of those 15,000, about 7,000 of them have done one transaction so far this year. One. So that's about half. Actually, it's less than half, right? So one transaction. So you can either look at that and go, holy crap, this market is tough and saturated, or you can go, wow, that's a lot of opportunity. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. The symbol for crisis is opportunity, or for opportunity and crisis meeting, right? So we want to make sure that we are taking advantage of the opportunity that is presented right now. We have hit every record we've ever set for real estate, for every category. Listings taken, contracts written, deals closed, gross commission, everything this year already. So, there's obviously an opportunity in this marketplace. By the way, out of those 7,000 people that have done a transaction, 78% of them did one deal. Yeah, it's a pretty low bar. So if you are going to hit your goal, if you're committed to your goal of 135,000 or 17 transactions, that'll probably put you in medallion next year, or darn close, right? It'll definitely get you a lifestyle that you can actually, do the things you want. I would say travel where you want to, but my new vacation hotspot is Port Coquitlam. It's exciting. There's a dam and a river and a gravel pit. It's amazing there. So who needs Hawaii? So, all right. So your lead generation level, where is that going to come from? So have you guys talked about where your lead generation can come from? Where does your business come from? Unmute your phones and throw out some ideas of where your business comes from. Where do you find people?
You got to go find it, but you can door knock, you can expireds, for sale by owners, Sphere.
Dylan's doing all the heavy lifting, guys.
Referrals.
Referrals, you bet. Pick up the phone. What else?
Social media.
Just call.
Social media. Is anybody on social media these days? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's time for David to start a podcast.
It's on my to-do list. Yes.
There you go. So now's a really good. So event, probably one of the things that's really. Somebody else, go ahead. I ask questions and I just keep talking.
Just calling.
Just calling. Just pick up the phone. Make the phone calls. How many times do you have to reach? Let me ask this question. How many times do you think you have to reach out to somebody to get a contact?
What do you mean?
I know in the book it says that to have someone in the top, have your name in the top of their head, you need 12 touches, I think.
So yeah, we have the 8x8 and then the 36 touch program. So if you are at a meeting with an agent this morning and their plan was just email, so they want to build out their profit share and build out the databases here, and they had an email campaign. How many of you read? Just show of hands. How many of you read your emails? 2 of you are lying. So how many of you never read an email? That's your least favorite form of communication? No? We're all emailers? Okay. How many of you like getting texts? I'm a text person. How many of you answer your phone when random numbers call? Yeah, I don't. I will send you to voicemail all day long. If you send me a text, I'll respond right away. So the point I'm getting at is everybody likes to be communicated to differently. So if your communication plan is to send out 36 emails, you're only going to get the email person. You're probably going to get spam blocked, right? But if you send out an Insmore Smart Plans, is really cool in Command because you can figure out the communication pattern. So on day one, you send them an email saying, hey, saw this. I thought it would be really cool for you. Set you up on a neighborhood snapshot, whatever it is. Step 2 is send them a text saying, hey, just checking to see if you got my email yesterday, making sure it didn't go in the spam folder. Step 3 is, hey, give them a phone call, right? So you're hitting them on all different levels. So the new step, 36 touches to actually get top of mind, 12 way back in the day, 7 even way further back in the day when we ride around on horses, and new with our social media inundation, probably closer to 45 or 50. So when you think that you're pestering somebody and being a pain in the butt, double it, right? Until they say stop, just keep communicating. Because 80% of the agents out there are doing 1 transaction a year. Roger?
Are you saying 50 touches that you got to contact them 50 times? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So we are slammed so you've got to get through all the noise. So does that mean you're just, and again, I'm not a fan of spam, and I'm not saying spam people. I'm saying be in constant contact. So if you send me 13 emails a month, I'm going to get irritated. If you send me 1 email that's purposeful to me and you actually know what I'm looking for, so you've got me on a neighborhood snapshot, and then you're doing a follow-up saying, hey, David, I was just going through my news feed and I saw this article. I thought you'd be interested. Did you see that? Totally unrelated to real estate. Here's a great script right now. Hey, Roger.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
Awesome. I'm just phoning to check up. Cool. Everything's good? Family's good?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. If there's anything you need, you got my cell number, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Sweet. All right. Cheers. I'll call you in a couple of weeks and make sure everything's okay. Is that
Sounds
okay?
Good.
Awesome. Bye-bye. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Who do they like best? Aw, that was sweet. And I have no soul. So, you gotta just reaching out to people and saying hi right now. And it's the reason why I think our business is what it is because people are just reaching out and connecting. And Zoom, we're all on Zoom meetings every day. So I'm actually getting back to just doing phone conversations, which is kind of fun. Face-to-face is getting weird again. Door knocking, step 6 feet back if you're doing it, right? So anyway, what does this all have to do with goal setting? How many times, maybe this is just me, I'll just talk to me. I may have in my history have had a habit, I'm beyond it now, of writing a goal, filling out a pretty form like this, and then putting it in a drawer and never ever looking at it again. So the purpose of the goal isn't how many here's the killer question. How many of us will buy a gym membership in January? Not me, because I know better now. I just know better. My treadmill is where I hang laundry. It's good. So it's serving a purpose. So your strategies, your goals have to be in line with what you want to do and what you know you're going to do. You've got to be realistic about it. So $135,000 in gross commission next year, have at her. If it's $1 million, we need to have a different conversation. Still attainable. The answer is 7, by the way. If you want to make $1 million in real estate at a 75% close ratio and conversion ratio, go on 7 listing appointments a week, and you will make $1 million by accident. Now go look at the stats and find out how many agents made $1 million in gross commission last year. 7. 3 of them are office. So yeah. Anyway, it's a massive opportunity to drive revenue forward.
So Ron, I have a question, Ron.
Yes.
So you're saying 7 a week, and that's listing appointments where you sit down with somebody and you're getting them to sign a deal with you for you to list the house. What is the number that we need to, how do we get to that number? How many calls, how many door knocks do we need to do to get to that number?
That's a great question. So breaking it back into bite-sized chunks, and why we jump to the contact side, because most of you probably won't have a database, a strong database at this point. Maybe some of you who have a business background, yes. Maybe you've been in the industry for a couple of years. Your database needs a health check. It's why we're emphasizing Command, because it'll actually give you a health check on your database. Let me start with the database, and I'll work back to the goal manual if that's okay. So your database health check, if your database consists of a bunch of names with a phone number and or an email, it's got a health score of about 30%, because you're missing their birthday, you're missing their address, you're missing all the pertinent information that allows you to build a communication platform with them, right? If you don't have my Facebook profile address in your contacts, how do you know what I'm doing on Facebook? How do you promote to me? So the more information you have, and let me give you a script. So say you go through your database and all you have is mom and her phone number, right? So you don't have a first and a last name because she's mom. So fill in that information. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, use those three as main social media contacts. The address, because then you can set them up on neighborhood snapshots. The simplest, coolest tool to make you look really smart as a real estate agent, by the way, just my opinion. And really easy stuff that no one else is doing for the most part right now to look after their clients. So play with it. Your first script, by the way, so you go through your database and you realize that you are solely lacking. When we started rolling out Command a couple of years ago, the two main pieces of information that were missing from the agent's profiles, the address that the client lived in and when they moved there. From a sales standpoint, that's what you sold them and when you sold it to them. And it's pretty tough to build a sales pipeline if you don't know what you sold and when you sold it. You don't have a starting point, right? So here's the way the conversation went. You pick up the phone and go, "Hey, Roger, it's Ron calling from Keller Williams. How you doing?" "Fantastic. Hey, listen, I'm just updating my database. It's the new year. Are you still at what's your current address? Just want to verify, make sure I've got it in my." You don't phone and say, "Hey, I forgot where I sold you the house, and I'm too lazy to look up the address on the contract. Are you still at 123 Main Street?" No. Oh, we've moved 9 times and I missed all those deals. That's awesome. Hey, while I got you on the phone, what's your birthday? I know we're connected on Facebook, but I'm gonna try hard to send cards this year. It's gonna be fun. We're going old school. Yeah, cool. All right. And anything new happened? Do you have any more kids? Get married to another wife? What happened? Have the conversation. Hey, now let's pretend like we're doing a dating app. What's your favorite NFL team? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? The more information you get, the better. Now, we live in this world where we tell everybody everything we do every day, right? So do you really have to ask me what my favorite type of food is? And I would really put this in your database, by the way. Because if you go to my Instagram page or my Facebook page, does anybody know what you're going to see right now? You're going to see a whole bunch of pictures of bourbon, and you're going to see a whole bunch of pictures of brisket and low country boiled seafood and anything else from the southern U.S. That's just where I live. So you don't have to ask me. You just know. So if I've got in my smart plan a communication strategy that says, reach out to Ron, before I make that call to me, I'm going to check my Facebook page. I'm going to check my Facebook page. I'm going to check your Facebook page. Find out what you're up to, find an article on Southern barbecue and go, "Hey, Ron, I came across this article. I thought it would be really cool. I know I saw on your Facebook page, you're smoking briskets. You're making me hungry. And I think I gained 3 pounds just looking at your pictures. Does this make sense? If I'm going to smoke a brisket, is this the way, should I follow this recipe?" And I'm going, nah, right? We're going to have a conversation about brisket. Is the conversation about brisket? No, it's about real estate because we're building up the rapport, right? So, all right. So, as you're building
for you,
what's that?
In our contacts, when you said the health score, I can see a health score per person. Is there a way to see an overall health score of my 461 contacts?
So, if you go to your main dashboard within Command, it should give you a total database health score. Sometimes you have to scroll down. Yeah. And if you've got an individual health score of an average of 30%, go fill in the blanks, right? that additional information part within the contacts in command is critical to you building rapport with people and knowing about your clients, right? I still remember when I was a part-time salesperson in like 1912. Just joking, I'm not that old. But we had a gentleman come into our stores that don't exist anymore. We're stores. We used to go shopping live, not online. VP of sales from a big international clothing company comes into my store and knew my name, my girlfriend's name, who happens to be my wife now, how long I'd been with the company, and 3 interesting facts about me. This is pre-internet, people. He had to do some digging to find that out, and I was a part-timer, right? That impressed the hell out of me and had me stick around the company for 7 years and want to be a part of it. Same thing. That's what you're going for. When you phone somebody up and just say, hi, do you want to list your house? Hi, do you want to list your house? Hi, do you want to list your house? You're just another schmo picking up the phone trying to solicit business, right? If you phone up and go, hey, David, I saw your post on Facebook about you doing that thing with the stuff. Yeah, that was really cool. How'd you do that? And now we're having a conversation. We got to know each other, right? It takes a little more time and well worth it, right? Especially now. We're getting inundated with crap. Your goal in those 36 to 50 touches is to wade through the noise and be the person who, when I want to buy or sell a house, I'm going to reach out to. And then once I do that, when all you other real estate agents phone, I go, no, I'm sorry. I got an agent. His name's Dylan. He's awesome. He sends me cookies on my birthday. He probably might have baked them himself. I don't know. Anyway. All right. So to get back to the GPS. Yeah, it's all about goal setting. It all comes back to people, right? So your priority 1, so your main lead generation lever. So Dylan, how are you going to generate some leads? You mentioned you have a database of people that like you.
Yeah, I hope so. Right now, I've just been working on my. Yeah, I've been practicing scripts to move into door knocking and expireds and for sales by owner. But right now, I've been working on my sphere, and it's actually been going really good. I'm grateful. I have 4 buyers right now just from reaching out to my sphere.
Awesome. Okay, so number 1 lead generation lever, sphere, right? So you're gonna work your sphere. Now, how many? Because you're gonna have 3 different strategies, 3 different priorities in here, right? How many of your 17 transactions are going to come from your sphere?
Yeah, I mean, to be conservative, if that's the right term, of the 17 deals I need to do, let's just call it 4 deals.
Okay, so 4 deals are going to come out of your sphere. So that means we have a gap of 13 transactions, right?
Yeah.
So now we need 2 other two other priorities, what that lead generation lever is going to be to get you to that goal. So if you start looking at your sphere and go, I talk to a lot of agents that go, 99% of my business comes from my sphere or comes from referrals. And that is awesome until all those people have bought and sold a house in the last 3 years. And then you have no sales funnel, right? So having multiple, the purpose of the GPS is to give you a broader scope or a broader vision of where your business is going to come from, right? So you're going to say 4 deals are going to come from your sphere. That means what are your other 2 preferred methods of lead generation?
I think door knocking and expireds. I don't really know about cold calling. I don't know how many people actually respond well to that.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, I'd rather make like a personal connection eye to eye, but I'm new. I'll figure out what works.
So valid point. Figure out what works. So if you're practicing scripting and role playing every day and you never pick up the phone, you don't know if it works. Here's the other thing I'm going to challenge you to: pick up the. We were taking Bold one year. When you get a chance to take Bold, take Bold. We were taking Bold one year, and our trainer got a phone call from one of his coaching clients during class. He's like, "Hold on, I'm going to take this. This will be fun." And he'd recommended this agent that he tried door knocking, and the agent phoned up and said, "Yeah, I tried door knocking. It didn't work." And Rick goes, "Well, how many doors did you knock on?" He goes, "I've knocked on 200 doors." He goes, 200 doors? Call me back when you hit 2,000. You don't know what your acid what your acid test is, right? What your split test looks like. So if you do all your phone calls at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're calling the same database, do you know if cold calling works? If nobody picks up? If I have a job, where am I at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Call at a different time.
There you go. So same script, try it in the morning, try it in the evening, try it in the afternoon, try it on a Saturday, try it on a Sunday, right? Now suddenly it's a Dr. Seuss book. So yeah, you've got to try different things at different times, right? That's the way you build up business. So your second lead generation lever is going to be cold calls, or sorry, door knocking. And then your third lead generation lever, expired. Right? So now here's where we get into the nuts and bolts of this. So you set your lead. So you've got 4, you're missing 13. So say 8 are going to come from, you're going to figure out what the number is, right? And then maybe social media is another strategy in there we'll get to strategy in this. So then on the third step, it's the 5 strategies to get you to that number, right? So Manu, when you started talking about how many contacts do I have to make, or what does that look like, right? So if I'm going on 7 listing appointments a week, right? That was at a 75% conversion ratio already, right? So that's 7 listing appointments, 75% of those deals that you get close, and 75% of those conversations you get the deal, right? Now, how good are you at the conversation? There's a reason why you're in scripting and role play practice twice a week. You might even want to do some on your own, because the better you are at the conversation, I like to describe myself as effectively lazy. I want to do as little work as possible to get to the goal. Unless I'm golfing, I'd like to have as many strokes as possible and lose as many balls. It's fun that way, right? Just the way I golf. So I want to be as good as if my goal is to introduce 5 agents a month to the brokerage, I want to talk to 5 agents and have them all sign. Yay, I'm done. And then I can go do whatever, right? So same thing. If your goal is to do 7 listing appointments per week, how good are you at the conversation, and what elements are you going to bring in so that you get those appointments, right? If you know the revenue is at the end of the road for that, why wouldn't you do it? If you knew that there was $1 million tucked under your pillow, you'd probably get into bed and check, right? It's not, by the way.
Ron, is there anything like too much conversation? Because me and Manu went door knocking yesterday, and people really wanted to talk. Like, it was sometimes really long-winded.
Okay, so my answer is no. And if you've ever met my wife, you'll understand why.
Okay.
People think that in my house, I'm the quiet one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know, right? It's weird. It's my wife's name is Kathy, and there's, a doll named after her, first name Chatty. So, and she has the ability to have a conversation and just pull you in by asking questions, right? So I would say if all you're talking about is the weather or brisket or whatever, then yeah, too much conversation down a wrong path is not going to get you back to having business. So I did some work with a gentleman by the name of Jordan Belfort, and he had a great way of describing the sales process. Like him or hate him as a person, whatever, but he called it the straight line persuasion. So your goal as a real estate agent is to get from here to here in a straight line as quickly as possible so that you can do this again and again and again and again and again, right? Your client wants to take you off that line. They want to pull you into different areas, right? So you say, hi, just knocking on the neighborhood, seeing if there's anybody who wants to sell their house. Oh, fantastic. Glad you, hey, just wanted to talk to you about blah, right? Also, your clients are going to do that when you start taking them to a house and they start showing you things. You're going on the buyer's tour and they tell you the 5 things that they absolutely need in a property. And then suddenly they have a list of another 27 things. Same thing. Your job is to pull them back to the center line so that you can stay on track and get to the end of the conversation. So if you phone somebody or you knock on a door, if you have a relationship with, there's a friend and a family conversation, a business conversation, right? So if I knock on a door and we have a relationship, it's like, hey, how you doing? Cindy, I haven't talked to you in so long. How's the family? Now we're going down the family road, right? Mm-hmm. So, and sure Chris and crew are going to, you'll definitely get into this in scripting and role play practice. It can be very difficult to get back to a business conversation. So you know what? I really want to catch up. That gives me another reason to call, because now I'm going to catch up. Right now, the reason why I knocked on the door, honestly, I'm kind of on the clock right now. I'm wondering if you know anybody in your neighborhood who's interested in possibly listing their house. The reason why is I got 3 families that really love your neighborhood and there is nothing for sale out here. So just wondering if you know anybody who's interested in listing. And yeah, you and I need to sit down for a coffee or get on the phone and chat, because I want to hear how the kids are. I want to hear how your last vacation was. I want to hear how the blah, blah, blah was. And yeah, I love talking to you guys. I'm so glad we bumped in. Oh my God, virtual high five, right?
Perfect.
Right?
So you just
Pull
reel
it back
back
to
in.
business. We go, you know what? Bob across the street and Mary, yeah, they're not doing so hot. I think they might be doing the big Schmittsville. Oh, okay, cool. Is it okay if I mention your name? No, don't mention my name, right? Anyway, that's the conversation. So pulling it back into real estate for you guys who are brand new and you have a sphere of influence that knows you in this world, right? Whatever that was. So lacrosse, salesperson, accountant, whatever. You've got to pull them into, even if you're a professional, you've got this reputation outside of that industry or outside of this industry, right? So you got to pull them back into real estate to let them know that you're going to assign that same level of confidence and deliver a quality. Well, Cindy, you've got like 4 billion people in your database, right? But they know you in wedding world, right? They know you in community event world, right?
Yeah.
So
I
now
went
you've
door
got-
knocking yesterday and she knew like 3 of the builders and I'm like, this is perfect. We just door knock all the time.
You're like one of my best friends. We go anywhere in the world and he would run into somebody on a beach. There'd be like one other person on the beach and Larry would know who they are.
That was us
Hey,
yesterday.
how's the, just want to ask the door knockers, so the reception's pretty good? No one's scared to talk to you or anything like that?
No, so what we did was I took Chris's advice and I had the mask, like I put it on and I put it on my ear so they could
Yeah.
see it, but I still wanted them to see my face. So Cindy was way behind me and I was in the front opening the door, and then we would go way back and greet them.
Yeah, and if they're older, what we did was we actually didn't hand them the card. We just put it on a ledge and said, you can grab this later.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually like even go that close to anybody that was like a lot older. With young people, sometimes they stepped out or they put their hand out, so we did give them the card. But when we went closer to the door, we did put our masks back on.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were very happy to see us. Some people wanted to talk. A lot of people were just turning their alarms off, their house alarms, meaning that they didn't even go out for the whole day. So they were happy to speak to somebody, it seemed like. But yeah, overall, the reception was really good. The people that obviously didn't want to engage, they just didn't open their doors. So we just left our cards there. So that was not bad at all either. So probably about, I think
we did 30 houses and we got a response for at least 15.
Yeah. So about half the people opened the doors, right?
Yeah. So they're really happy to see you is what you're saying generally, right?
Oh yeah, it was really, like, this is the first time we did it. And we were actually quite surprised with the response. And it was good exercise too. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear.
As we get into the holidays, you know, there's a drop in the business, and the reason why there's a drop in the business, it's Christmas, so people, you know, don't generally want to move on Christmas Eve. It's also because real estate agents stop working, to be honest. So I remember one year I popped into the Maple Ridge office and the Kelly Fry team was getting all bundled up in boots and jackets. There was actually snow on the ground for Christmas that year, and they were going out door knocking on Boxing Day. And I went, what are you, nuts? They think people think it's a little intrusive? She goes, no. People are home. They're happy. They're already tired of their family. And they want to talk to us. We get invited in for leftovers. It's fantastic, right? Same thing. So that's why we're the care call script, where it's just calling to see how you're doing. What do you need? I found toilet paper at Costco. Go get some, right? Any reason to follow up, any reason to have a conversation. And now it's the ultimate reason to call. And now, so if I call you up and I go, hey, Cindy, just calling to see how you're doing. So how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Hey, while we got you on the phone, do you want to list your house?
Now,
what do you think about it? Now I'm just
You're just
insanity here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
just soliciting me, not really interested in me.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I'm asking to get to my end goal. So if you ask the question, you better be prepared to have a conversation around the answer. All right. So your strategies, to get back to this before I have to go on a coaching call next. So your strategy around this for working your sphere. So Dylan, strategy 1, what could it be? Or anybody else can pipe in too. What would one strategy be for working your sphere?
Can I
Call them.
add one quick thing about your sphere? Is
Yep.
you gotta love them at the end, not at the beginning. So if you're calling your sphere looking for business and you call them saying, "Hey Ron, how's it going? What's going on in your world? How's everything? I'd love to get together. Let's get a beer soon. By the way, you know anybody who wants to buy or sell, invest in real estate?" And that's how you end the call. They want to go have a shower and they're going to forget your number and they're not going to pick you up next time you call.
Exactly.
So if you call with the intention to get business specifically and you ask direct, then you better love them on the way out. You better say, "Look, I got some big goals for 2021. I want to have a really great year and I need your support. I'd love it if you knew anybody that's looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate. You could call me and let me know about them, not them about me, because then I'm not able to control that conversation." And then leave it at that. Let that sink in, and then say, "By the way, Ron, like, what's going on with your holidays? How are you? What's new? What are you planning to do for, like, you're just gonna hang out with your bubble, whatever, right?" And then like get into the conversation about connecting with them. Let's get a beer in the new year. Love to catch up and actually see you face to face when your mask isn't covering that beautiful mug. So whatever that is, it's got to be authentic on the way out, or you lose them and they will lose your number.
Exactly. So I actually prefer to split them into a couple of conversations. Hey, I want to phone back and catch up on the family. Right now, this is a business conversation. Is that okay or is that weird? I'll ask you if it's weird. It's kind of weird. You're my son. You know, whatever. You finally called to see if I want to list my house. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I haven't got your present. What's going on? So your strategies for your sphere, just quickly, and you guys are going to come up with your own independent strategies. But this is kind of a brainstorming idea. It's not kind of, it is a brainstorming idea. So if I'm going to work my sphere, what are the strategies that are going to help me get my 4 transactions that I've said are going to come from my sphere this year? So number 1, I would say making sure that I have all their contact information in my contact management system, right? So I've got 100% of the information. That's also a reason to call. I'm going to set them up on neighborhood snapshot campaigns so that they know that I'm their local real estate agent of choice, right? Local economist. Be the local economist. Number 3, go from there. So a social media campaign, make sure you're following everybody on Facebook, on Instagram. 3 times a day, if I'm following any of you on, like I follow David, 3 times a day, you'll notice me going like. So if I'm following you, I have it in my calendar to go onto Instagram and go do. And if it's something really cool, then I'll comment, right? Just because it helps boost your, it's amazing how many people respond after going, "Hey man, thanks for the like, thanks for the follow, thanks for the whatever," right? Interesting. And it's easy. So yeah, whatever that strategy is going to be around there. Now, if you get, so you've got your goal, you've got your lead generation lever, and you're not too sure about it, and then you get down to the strategy section, you have no idea, what do? You pick up the phone, you call Chris or Carol or anybody else. Seriously. Or you bounce it off this group. You've got this great mastermind group. You don't work in a bubble. Well, technically, sorry, bad choice of words. We all work in a bubble now. But you've got access to information and smart people going, "Hey, I want to get 4 deals out of my sphere this year. What should I do?" And I would say the number 1 deal is say, "Hey, Dylan, it's Ron calling from KW. How's it going, man? Awesome. Cool. Hey, listen, you know, I got my real estate license. Yep, just getting my feet wet. I know you and we've known each other a long time. Really respect you as a business person. Who do you know who I should be talking to who might be interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate?" Asking for that referral. The other part of that is when you get a listing, asking for the referral again and again and again and again and again. I asked the question of, you know, when do you ask for the referral? And most people say, well, upon closing, which is probably the most stressful day in their life outside of childbirth. So they love you best when you're actually at the closing table, or at the listing table. Nothing's gone wrong yet. You haven't found an oil tank in the backyard yet. You haven't, you haven't found asbestos in the attic and stuff. So yeah, it's like, great, we're just listing your house. Fantastic. That's awesome. Our paperwork is complete. Hey, you guys are awesome. This is going to be fun. Who else do you know who I should be talking to? Let's pick your neighbors right now. I should get my real estate license. This is fun. So yeah, just have that conversation with them at that point. So building out your sphere, how many referrals? Set the goal or the strategy of getting 10 referrals from your database, right? So actually getting business from your existing business or your existing sphere. It's a great opportunity. So if you need ideas, there's a great book. It's got a red cover. Millionaire Real Estate Agent. All the goals and the listings are in there. Go on to KW Connect. Tons of information on there as far as what your strategies can be. Holding an online buyer seminar right now. Great idea. And record it and just rebroadcast it so you don't have to do it every day, right? Those are great opportunities.
Hi, Ron. I just had
Hi,
something
Janet.
to add. Hi again. So talking about phone calls, I think it's really important to state why you're calling, like make sure that you're talking about business and then, having a conversation after that. An example was my best friend's parents. They told me that, so they bought their first house 20 years ago. And their real estate agent, his wife got her real estate license after him. And then they called them 20 years later, and it was his wife calling and being like, hey, like, how are you? How are you, Ken and Stella? How's your family? And was just asking these questions. And my best friend's parents had no idea who this woman was. And then she explained that she was the wife of their realtor 20 years ago. And they had a little bit of a conversation, and then they hung up and they were like, this was very odd.
This is random. And so at that point, it's a solicitation call, Nicole. You think you have a relationship, but you don't. That's awkward.
And I think that's just the lack of with the clients that you have to constantly keep up with them and, ask about their life, send them a card, have them on social media, comment, so that they don't forget about you. Because to expect to have a relationship 20 years later, I think is just kind of ridiculous. And a lot of people would be shocked. And they don't like that either.
There's when you have a relationship with somebody there and they want to talk to you, that's awesome. And when you say the 36 to 50 contacts, those aren't all face-to-face contacts. That can be a social media touch. It can be a text. It can be, it can be sending them a newsletter. It can be all kinds of things, sending them a post. I have Google alerts set up for all kinds of things. If I find something that I know somebody's interested in, I'll forward it to them. It's a great reason to connect. I can do that like 10 times a day. My coach apparently I have more time. Say why. So so I also have an I suck script. So say Shannon and I, we knew each other. So true story. My wife and I bought our first house from a very, 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 very reputable agent who's still in the area in 1995. Year our daughter was born. And the next time I talked to him was when I started here 5 years ago. Right? So if I was him phoning me, I would use my I suck script. Hey man, it's Ron. Dude, I just wanted to apologize. I suck. Yeah, I am so sorry. I don't know how. I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like, holy crap, it would be great to catch up with Shannon. Wow. And then I realized I haven't talked to you in like 8 years. Holy crap. I am so sorry. So has anything changed, in 8 years? Yeah. And now and I'm going to ask you for business there? No. But you're probably going to ask what I'm doing. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a real estate agent in the area now. Well, that's really cool. Awesome. And I'd love to get together and talk about business. But right now, I honestly just wanted to say, holy cow. How did that happen? And let's not let this happen again. So is it okay if I give you a call in a couple of weeks? Maybe we set up a time, grab a beer, or let's do it now. Yeah, sure. Fantastic. Right? Good stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I call it the I suck. And I literally say, dude, I suck. I'm so sorry. I suck. I suck. I'm sorry, Mom. I suck. That's
a good way to get around that. Like if you have a contact that you've had on Facebook for a long time and maybe you were like really good friends in the past, and you just call them up and ask them how they're doing and just be like, I'm actually a new real estate agent now, and just like get to know them versus calling them and expecting them to do business with you, even though you know like absolutely nothing about their life and the past 8 years of their life that you haven't been in contact with them.
Yeah, there's that, and I've been a bull in a china shop salesperson before, where I'm just the guy who's going to sit down and I'm not going to let go until it bleeds. They used to call me a sales pit bull. Not joking. There's a website. Because when we sat down and had a conversation, I was going to get the business no matter what. And you just wouldn't leave the room, right? So I don't like that way anymore. It's just not that friendly, and it doesn't build long-term relationships, and you are in the relationship business, right? And that said, if you're committed to your goal is to turn those people into revenue, right? So don't lose sight of that. So if you've got, and this is why agents get commission breath, because they've got 2 contacts in their database, and if both of them say no, they don't know where else the business is going to come from. If I don't get this listing, it's the only one I got in my pipeline. So the answer to that is to have a really robust database and a really healthy pipeline, right? That is going to continue to give you revenue. When you look at your sales history, once you have a sales history, you'll see it goes in waves. And when I look at, you see that? Let's go off the screen. Woo. I can tell when I look at an agent's sales history when they took a vacation, and when they got burned out, and when they got hungry, or when their wife said, "Go sell something," or husband, because it's you're a 3 to 6 month cycle, right? So when you get a contract, when you get a listing, it's going to close in 3 to 6 months. Sometimes it's shorter, but generally 3 to 6 months. So when I see your commission wave at the top, and then it drops back down, it's because you got busy, right? You started cashing checks and went, "I'm going to Mexico," not this year, but so no excuses. And then it drops back down. You go, "Oh crap! I have to pay my mortgage. I got to buy food. Let's sell something." Woo! And then you go back up again, right? Now, if you were running a business like that, you'd be bankrupt, because you'd have employees and inventory and bricks and mortar and stuff like that, right? So if I'm running a business, I don't want this. I want this. I want steady growth in my revenue, right? I want to start out and then get a 20% increase in my revenue year to year, and gauge my profitability and have that increase. Have my cost of sales go down and my revenue go up. Boom. Now we're making money and building a sustainable business. Most real estate agents don't look at their business like that. And that's why we have tools like this, because it forces you to look at the things you need to build a business. It's why within Command, there's a lot of emphasis on sales pipeline. I remember one of my first sales meetings with the office, and I started talking about sales pipelines and gravity funnels, and there's just blank stares from the audience, because most real estate agents aren't formally sales trained, and we don't talk about sales pipelines. We talk about people I know, right? And my database is in my phone. Cool. And you're not leveraging that. How much money do you think the average real estate agent leaves on the table because they don't have a follow-up plan for their agents? I don't know. Talk to the guy who sold my wife and I a house 20 years ago and then never called us back. You still in that place? No. Moved 5 times. Oh, okay. That's a lot of commission, right? Potential commission. So just being the person who follows up relentlessly, so you're top of mind, right? And that's just not sticking your magnet on a fridge. Works for Jeff Golding though, so whatever. All right, cool. I'll let you go. Any questions? So you're all going to have this. If you want to run it by somebody other than I recommend you run it by one of your coaches. If you want me to have a look at it, I will be brutally honest, unless you tell me to be gentle, and I'll be gentle first, and then I'll be brutally honest. So we're always there as a resource for you.
And where do I find this form? Sorry, I missed the little beginning part of it. So
it was a big beginning part.
No, I mean just for the form.
I think Chris sent it out to everybody, right?
Yeah, I think okay, that link wasn't working, so I do have
the link needs to be moved to editable, Ron, and then it'll work.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
You can also find it on KW Connect, but I will. What format did it come through in?
It's a Word doc, right?
Yep. It should have been. It should have been
Word doc. Just wouldn't edit.
Yeah. If you. Yeah.
It says no access.
No access.
No access.
I'll send you just a plain version.
Okay, I'll send it to everybody then.
Okay, I'll send it to Chris. He'll send it up. All right.
Hey, just wondering before you go on, when you're talking about spheres, is it better to talk to them about business after you talk to them for a few minutes, when you kind of hang up on them, or right when you call them? Is there any?
So do you want to hear my script for if I'm calling you and we have a relationship?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I've talked to you in the last 3 months, and I got to get to something.
If you haven't,
hey, Roger, it's Ron. How's it going? Good. Hey, do you have a quick sec? And this is the tone of voice I use too, by the way. This is the tone of voice. It's like, oh my God, somebody's after me. Holy crap. I need to talk to you fast. Hey, do you have a sec? You have to answer, Roger. No, do you? Fantastic. Awesome. All right, quick. I know we haven't caught up in a little while, but my reason for the call right now is I'm in a contest. I got a goal. My wife's going to beat me up. Pick something that's kind of funny, but kind of serious at the same time. I really need your help. I know you know a ton of people in the community. Who do you know who I should talk to about buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Like in the next 30 days. You're like, nobody. Really? Nobody? And it's the same script, by the way. Nobody, like work, church, the gym. Like you go to the gym. Sorry, man. Anybody? Well, there's this guy. Cool. Can you, like, it would really help me out, buddy. Really help me out. I'm going to owe you a beer. Maybe a 6-pack. Right? That's the conversation. It has less to do with what you say and how you say it. It's called tonality. But we've had some success on the phone, and people, it's like, what's your opening? What's your greeting? I'm like, all right, write this down. Hey. Like, and? No, that's it. Hey. And followed up with, how's it going? Right? You guys don't have to get past gatekeepers, like, receptionists, but getting past those people is an art. It's kind of fun. And it has less to do with what you see. If you phone up and go, hello, this is Ron Edgar calling from Keller Williams Elite Realty, and I would like to talk to you about the prospect of selling your home. Right? Be entertaining. Like, if you're funny, be funny. If you're not funny, don't be funny. Can't force funny, no matter what your mom says, right? So yeah, it's just that's my piece of sage advice. See, works. By the way, do you know anybody who wants to list, buy, or sell, and invest in real estate? Just see it. Anyway. All right, cool. Go do stuff. The most important thing is to take this information and go do it. Don't go turn on Netflix. Although if you haven't watched The Flight Attendant, watch The Flight Attendant. It's pretty good. All right. That's it. Last question. Going once, going twice.
Thanks, Ron. Can't go get him.
Thanks for Ron. Fill your GPS. Bye.
Later.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Hang up. There it is.
Over.
Isn't that weird? And we're all looking for like the how to leave the call button. It's like, what do I do?
Thank you. Bye.
I hope we see you more. Oh, he's not.
Later, folks. Have a good weekend. See you Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Let's see if